Imagine this. You wake up one morning, but the first thing you notice isn't the sunlight filtering through your curtains. It's the faint buzzing of your phone. Your hand moves before you've even decided to reach for it, like a reflex you didn't choose. A swipe, a tap, and suddenly you're staring into a glowing rectangle. There's a new video, a trending reel, a clip carefully crafted to hit the sweet spot of your brain's reward system. Minutes pass. No, hours. And yet, when you finally pull away, you feel a strange emptiness. You were entertained, but not satisfied. It's as if someone poured sugar water into your soul. Sweet, easy to consume, but leaving nothing behind. Now imagine that this wasn't just a morning. Imagine this was the shape of your life. Your days aren't filled with building, struggling, learning, or overcoming. They're filled with flickers of pleasure, quick hits of amusement that keep you from feeling the deeper hunger for meaning. It's not that you're lazy, it's that you're constantly full of mental junk food, so there's no space left for real nourishment. Here's the paradox. Entertainment should make life better, yet for millions it is quietly making life smaller. Think about it. When was the last time you were truly bored? That uncomfortable, restless boredom that used to push humans to invent, to create, to explore. It's almost extinct. We've drowned it under an endless stream of distraction. The moment boredom appears, we kill it with a click. But what if boredom was never the enemy? What if boredom was the door, the one that leads to growth, to self-discovery, to mastery? And every time you choose quick entertainment, you're closing that door before you can even step through. Let's ask the dangerous question. Is modern entertainment making you too weak to handle real life? Because weakness here doesn't just mean physical frailty. It means the inability to endure discomfort, to face difficult truths, to work through pain instead of running from it. Entertainment is no longer the occasional festival after the harvest or a rare night at the theater. It's the constant background noise of your existence. It's designed to be irresistible, frictionless, and endless. It doesn't just fill your free time. It replaces your capacity to be still, to think, to wrestle with your own mind. And that's where the danger lies. Imagine ancient warriors training day after day, pushing their bodies beyond exhaustion, sharpening their focus because their survival depended on it. Now imagine replacing that daily discipline with sitting in a comfortable chair, watching other people's stories, other people's triumphs, other people's battles. You feel the illusion of living without the reality of effort. Your brain gets the same dopamine spikes it would from real achievement, but you haven't earned them. It's counterfeit victory. And just like counterfeit money, it buys nothing real. Here's the uncomfortable truth no one wants to say. The more you consume, the less you create. And the less you create, the weaker you become. Not weaker in muscle, but in willpower, in resilience, in the ability to stay with something hard until it breaks open into something beautiful. Entertainment has trained us to crave ease, speed, and constant novelty. But life, real, meaningful life, requires the opposite. Patience, repetition, and the courage to sit with the same problem until it surrenders. Now ask yourself, when the storms come, and they will come, will you be ready? Or will you be too accustomed to instant relief to withstand the weight of reality? Because that is the hidden cost. It's not just that entertainment takes your time, it takes your threshold. The more you anesthetize yourself with constant amusement, the lower your tolerance for life's inevitable discomfort. The smaller your threshold, the sooner you break. And if you break too soon, you never see what you were capable of enduring. This isn't an argument for joylessness. It's not about banning laughter, stories, or music. It's about seeing the trap for what it is, a trap so comfortable you don't even notice the bars. The question you have to face now is this. Are you living your own life, or are you just watching other people live theirs? Hold that question for a moment. Let it burn in your mind. Don't rush past it, because in the next breath, we're going to go deeper into the hidden psychological and philosophical roots of this problem, the forces that make entertainment so intoxicating, the reasons your brain can't help but reach for it, and the truth about what it's quietly doing to your soul. The trap didn't appear overnight. You weren't born craving short bursts of flashing images, curated storylines, and manufactured drama. You were born with a mind that could endure silence, a heart that could wait for meaning, and instincts tuned to the slow rhythm of real life. But somewhere along the way, that wiring was rewritten, and it wasn't an accident. To understand how entertainment trains you to be weak, you have to see the hidden architecture behind it, the psychological hooks, the philosophical underpinnings, and the societal forces that keep the machine humming. Carl Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Modern entertainment thrives because it understands your unconscious better than you do. Your brain is wired for survival, which means it constantly scans for novelty, potential rewards and threats. A rustle in the bushes could be a predator, or dinner. This wiring kept our ancestors alive, but today the rustle in the bushes has been replaced by a notification ping. That sound, that flash, that autoplay function, it's all designed to hijack the same primitive circuits. You're not watching for leisure. You're feeding the oldest parts of your brain the stimulation they crave. And each time you give in, your threshold for stimulation rises. You need more, faster, louder. What once satisfied you now bores you, so the cycle accelerates. The result? A restless mind that can't sit still long enough to do anything deeply challenging. Nietzsche's warning. Friedrich Nietzsche warned that when society removes struggle, it also removes the conditions necessary for greatness. In his eyes, hardship was not just unavoidable, it was the raw material of strength. But modern entertainment offers you the illusion of struggle without its consequences. You feel tension when your favorite fictional character faces danger. You feel relief when they win. Your brain processes that arc as if you have faced something and emerged victorious. But in reality, you haven't moved an inch. Nietzsche might call this a kind of spiritual opiate. It dulls the sharp edges of existence while pretending to give you purpose. And like any drug, it leaves you weaker once the high fades. The Schopenhauer trap. Arthur Schopenhauer saw life as a pendulum swinging between pain and boredom. Pain forces you to act, boredom forces you to create. But what happens when boredom is replaced with entertainment? The pendulum stops swinging. You float in a state of low-grade stimulation that's neither painful enough to inspire action, nor empty enough to provoke creation. This is why, after hours of binge-watching, you don't feel restored, you feel hollow. Entertainment has satisfied the craving for stimulation without actually touching the deeper hunger for meaning. It's like chewing gum when your body needs a meal. Huxley's prediction. Aldous Huxley, in Brave New World, didn't imagine a future ruled by fear. He imagined a future drowned in pleasure. He warned that people wouldn't need to be controlled by force. They would willingly surrender their freedom for comfort and distraction. And here's the terrifying part. We don't even see it as surrender. We call it relaxation, me-time, self-care. But if you look closely, you'll see it's more like sedation. Entertainment in its current form doesn't just distract you, it pacifies you. It keeps you from asking dangerous questions like, am I living the life I want? What am I avoiding? What am I capable of becoming if I endure discomfort instead of escaping it? Sartre and the Flight from Freedom. Jean-Paul Sartre believed that freedom is terrifying because it means we are fully responsible for our lives. Most people, he argued, flee from this responsibility into bad faith, choosing roles, habits, and distractions that let them pretend they are not free. Entertainment is one of the easiest forms of bad faith. It allows you to feel busy, engaged, and emotionally invested without having to confront the uncomfortable truth that your time and choices are yours alone, and you are answerable for how you spend them. By immersing yourself in other people's narratives, you avoid writing your own. The addictive mind. Gabor Mate, in his work on addiction, says that the question is never why the addiction, but why the pain. Entertainment addiction works the same way. It's not about the shows, games, or endless scroll. It's about the ache underneath. You reach for distraction because facing the quiet would mean facing yourself, and that can be terrifying. In the silence, you might meet the parts of yourself you've been avoiding, the regrets, the doubts, the unfulfilled dreams. Entertainment offers you a simple trade. You don't have to feel this. Here, feel something else instead. But each time you accept that trade, you deepen the habit of avoidance. And avoidance, more than any external enemy is what keeps you weak. And the cultural machine. If this were just an individual weakness, it would be easier to fight. But entertainment is also a societal force, an economy. Billions are invested in keeping you watching, clicking, listening, swiping. Algorithms are not neutral. They are profit engines, and you are the fuel. The longer you stay engaged, the more ads you see, the more money flows through the system. Your attention is a commodity, and the market for it is more competitive than the market for oil. This is why the content keeps getting shorter, punchier, more emotionally charged, not because it's better for you, but because it's better for business. And in this business, your weakness is profitable. You might think you're making harmless choices, watching a video here, playing a game there. But from a higher vantage point, you can see the shape of the trap, a culture that trains you to prefer comfort over challenge, consumption over creation, distraction over presence. This is the hidden problem. Not that entertainment exists, but that it has been weaponized against your ability to live fully. And the longer you remain unaware of this, the more it shapes not just how you spend your time, but who you become. In the next part, we'll expose the unseen consequences, how this slow erosion of your inner strength affects your relationships, your ambitions, and even your ability to think independently. Because once you see the cost clearly, you'll never look at harmless entertainment the same way again. You probably think you can handle it. A little Netflix after work, a quick scroll before bed, maybe a few hours of gaming on the weekend. You're not hurting anyone. You're not addicted. You could stop any time, right? But here's the thing about slow poison. It doesn't announce itself. It works in whispers, in small compromises, in thresholds that shift so gradually you don't notice you've crossed them. By the time you feel the damage, it's already deep. Entertainment doesn't just cost you time. It rewires your mind, reshapes your desires, and lowers your capacity for real life. 1. The erosion of patience. The first thing to go is patience. You may not realize it, but your brain is learning to expect stimulation in constant, rapid bursts. Every scene cut, every joke, every plot twist comes faster and cleaner than anything reality can offer. Real conversations take time to warm up. Real skill takes years to build. Real relationships go through seasons of dullness, awkwardness, even frustration. But your mind, trained by the pacing of modern entertainment, starts rejecting anything that doesn't deliver instant engagement. This is why so many people can't finish books anymore, why they can't sit through a quiet moment without checking their phone, why they give up on projects the second progress feels slow. Patience is strength, and entertainment quietly dissolves it. 2. The collapse of attention. Attention isn't just the ability to focus, it's the foundation of thought. Without deep attention, you can't form deep ideas. Without deep ideas, you can't solve complex problems or see life beyond the surface. The constant micro-distractions of entertainment carve your attention span into fragments. You're there, but never fully there. Half in the room, half in the feed. And when your attention is always scattered, your thoughts can't gather into anything meaningful. This is not a small loss. Dostoevsky warned that the greatest human misery is to be incapable of serious thought. Without attention, you are locked out of your own potential. 3. Emotional malnutrition. On screen, emotions are neat. A problem is introduced, tension builds, and within 30 to 60 minutes, there's resolution. Laughter, tears, relief, packaged and delivered with no mess left over. Real life is not like this. Real emotions are slow to develop, messy to untangle, and often without a satisfying resolution. But after years of consuming neatly packaged emotional arcs, your tolerance for real emotional complexity drops. This is why people ghost each other instead of having hard conversations, why they chase constant good vibes instead of building resilience through conflict. It's not that they don't care, it's that they've been trained to expect emotions to work like scripted television. 4. The weakening of desire. Nietzsche believed that human greatness comes from the tension between where we are and where we long to be. Desire, real burning desire, forces us to move, to struggle, to grow. But when you feed that longing with fake substitutes, it weakens. Watching other people achieve their dreams can give you just enough of the feeling of ambition to satisfy you, without you having to act. It's a cruel trick. Your brain rewards you as if you've climbed the mountain when you've never left the couch. Over time, you lose the restless dissatisfaction that pushes human beings toward mastery. 5. Dependency on escape. Life is hard. Suffering is inescapable. This is not a pessimistic truth. It's simply the nature of existence. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, argued that the meaning of life is found in how we respond to suffering, not in how we avoid it. But if you live in a constant loop of entertainment, you never have to fully face your suffering. The moment discomfort appears, you reach for your phone, your playlist, your show. It becomes second nature. This is how weakness sets in, not because bad things happen, but because you've trained yourself to run from them. 6. The illusion of connection. We're social creatures, designed to bond over shared struggles and triumphs. In the past, entertainment, like a village play or a communal feast, was a way to connect with others. Today, it's mostly a solitary activity, even when shared online. You can talk for hours about a series you watched with someone, yet know nothing about their fears, their dreams, their pain. You can laugh together at memes without ever having gone through anything hard together. This is why so many people today feel both overstimulated and profoundly lonely. Entertainment creates the appearance of closeness, while removing the conditions that make closeness real. 7. The shrinking of the self. The most insidious consequence of all is that you stop knowing who you are. Every story you consume is someone else's worldview, someone else's values, someone else's hero's journey. Bit by bit, your own thoughts are replaced with borrowed ones. Your inner voice grows faint under the noise of other people's narratives. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard warned that the greatest hazard of all, losing oneself, can occur very quietly in the world, as if it were nothing at all. This is exactly how it happens, not in a single moment of catastrophe, but in thousands of hours of passive absorption. The unseen becomes the unavoidable. You might think you can keep entertainment in its place, but the truth is, the more you consume, the more it shapes the lens through which you see the world. And once that lens is warped, it's not just your free time at stake, it's the way you live, think, feel, and choose. Entertainment isn't neutral, it's an environment, and like any environment, it either strengthens you or weakens you. Right now, for most people, it's the latter. If you felt your patience slipping, your focus scattering, your ambitions dulling, you're already seeing the effects. The question is whether you're willing to keep paying the price. Because the more we accept these invisible consequences, the more they become permanent. In the next section, we'll talk about the rebellion, how to break free from this quiet erosion and reclaim the strength entertainment has been stealing from you, not through abstinence alone, but through a radical change in how you relate to pleasure, struggle, and meaning itself. There comes a moment in every slow surrender when you realize something terrifying. No one is coming to save you. The companies making your entertainment will not suddenly decide to make it less addictive. The algorithms will not start rewarding patience and discipline. The culture will not encourage you to step away from the feed and sit in uncomfortable silence. If you want out, you have to fight your way out. But here's the good news. Breaking free from entertainment's grip doesn't mean rejecting joy, stories, or beauty. It means reclaiming them, turning them from weapons that weaken you into tools that strengthen you. This is not about abstinence, it's about rebellion. Step 1. Starve the automatic reflex. The first enemy is unconscious consumption, the reflexive habit of reaching for your phone, opening a tab, or hitting next episode without thinking. The rebellion begins by forcing every choice into the light of awareness. Next time you're about to consume something, pause and ask, am I choosing this or is it choosing me? Will I be glad I did this an hour from now? Most of the time, the act of questioning breaks the spell. Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." In this context, if you don't have a why for what you consume, the how will always end up weakening you. Step 2. Rebuild the boredom muscle. Boredom is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It's the uncomfortable space in which the mind starts digging deeper, looking for something worth creating. Entertainment culture kills boredom because boredom produces self-awareness, and self-awareness produces change. Start small. 10 minutes a day with no input. No phone, no music, no podcast, no book. Just you, the quiet, and the thoughts that surface. At first, it will feel unbearable, like withdrawal. That's a sign of how far the dependency has gone. Push through. On the other side of that discomfort is something rare in the modern world, your unfiltered mind. Step 3. Turn consumption into creation. The surest way to break entertainment's hold is to reverse the flow. Stop being a passive receiver and start being an active maker. If you watch a film, write a short reflection on what it meant to you. If you enjoy music, try learning an instrument. If you love stories, write your own. Carl Jung believed that the act of creation channels parts of the psyche that consumption can never reach. When you create, you move from spectator to participant, from the sidelines into the arena. Creation demands patience, discipline, and the courage to face imperfection, all traits entertainment passively erodes. Step 4. Train for discomfort. If entertainment weakens you by shielding you from discomfort, then the antidote is to train in discomfort deliberately. This could mean physical challenges, lifting weights, running, cold showers, or mental ones, like reading difficult books or sitting with unresolved problems without rushing to solve them. Viktor Frankl wrote that meaning often comes from the things we choose to endure. By embracing discomfort, you expand your capacity to face life without flinching, and once you can do that, entertainment loses much of its power over you. Step 5. Redesign the environment. You are not stronger than the entire entertainment industry, but you can make yourself stronger than the temptations in your immediate environment. Delete the apps that consume the most of your attention. Turn off autoplay. Keep your phone out of reach when you work or rest. This isn't about willpower. It's about removing the triggers that bypass willpower altogether. As Schopenhauer noted, we often think we control our actions when in reality, our environment controls our actions. Change the environment, change the outcome. Step 6. Reclaim the social ritual. One of the reasons entertainment feels so irresistible is that it gives you a sense of connection, false but comforting. Replace that with real connection. Start or join small gatherings where you talk, cook, walk, or play games that require human presence. The ancient Greeks didn't just watch plays, they debated them, dissected them, used them as fuel for philosophical dialogue. That's how entertainment becomes a sharpening stone instead of a soft pillow. Step 7. Redefine pleasure. Right now, you've been trained to equate pleasure with ease. The rebellion requires that you rewire that association so that you find deeper pleasure in challenge, growth, and mastery. This isn't as abstract as it sounds. The first time you push through a long run, finish a complex project, or have a difficult conversation without escaping, you'll feel a satisfaction that no binge watch can touch. It's the difference between eating candy and eating a meal. Candy gives you a spike. A meal gives you strength. The paradox of liberation. Here's the strange thing. Once you start living this way, entertainment itself changes. It stops being an unconscious drip feed and starts being something rare, intentional, and deeply enjoyable. A film you watch after a week of hard work hits differently. A game you play with friends after a day of focus becomes more than an escape. It becomes a celebration. The point of this rebellion isn't to eliminate entertainment. It's to make sure it serves you, not the other way around. Breaking free is not instant. You will relapse. You will be tempted. You will have days where the glow of the screen feels safer than the weight of reality. But each time you choose creation over consumption, silence over noise, discomfort over escape, you are training strength. You are reversing the process. And slowly, without even realizing it, you become the kind of person entertainment was never designed for. Someone it can't weaken, because your strength comes from a place it can't touch. Imagine standing at the end of your life. No phones, no screens, no glowing rectangles, just you, the quiet and the weight of all the years you lived. You look back, not at days or hours, but at the shape of your existence, and you realize something chilling. You spent a staggering portion of it watching instead of living, not because you were lazy, not because you didn't care, but because the world offered you a softer, easier version of reality, and you took it. The core realization, the ultimate truth about entertainment is not just that it steals your time, it steals your capacity to live. Every hour you spend in manufactured worlds is an hour you are not in your own. Every emotional arc you experience through a character is one you do not earn yourself. Every victory you celebrate from a couch is one you never fought for. And the cruelest part? The brain doesn't know the difference. It rewards you with dopamine for victories you didn't achieve, comfort you didn't deserve, and intimacy you didn't build. Over time, you lose the hunger for the real thing. The tyranny of the comfortable life. The danger isn't that entertainment is evil, it's that it's too good, too easy, too frictionless. Civilizations have always had distractions, but never before have they been so engineered to remove effort, delay, or challenge. You don't have to walk to the theater, it streams instantly. You don't have to wait for the next chapter, it autoplays. You don't even have to decide what to watch. An algorithm picks for you. Comfort feels harmless, until you realize it's been quietly teaching you to avoid anything that isn't. Nietzsche warned that the last man of the future would trade all risk, all ambition, all greatness for comfort and security. He would smile, be entertained, and never dare to demand more from himself. We are frighteningly close to becoming that. The death of the self without mourning. When Kierkegaard spoke of losing the self quietly, as if it were nothing at all, he could have been describing the modern mind under constant entertainment. You do not lose yourself all at once. You lose yourself in micro moments, the time you watch someone else travel instead of booking your own trip, the night you binge a show about love instead of asking someone out, the weekend you escape into fictional adventures instead of starting your own. One day, you look in the mirror and realize you have lived mostly inside other people's stories, and because you were always busy, you never noticed the loss until it was too late. The world you leave behind. Your choices are not just about you, they ripple outward. A society of people who can endure discomfort will explore, invent, and create. A society of people who avoid discomfort will consume, complain, and drift. If entertainment continues to train generations to be weaker, to prefer instant satisfaction over earned fulfillment, what kind of world will your children inherit? One where courage is rare, depth is absent, and the hunger for meaning has been dulled into apathy. Aldous Huxley didn't imagine such a world as tragic, he imagined it as pleasant. That's the horror. We won't even notice the loss because we'll be too entertained to care. The last choice. You have to decide which side of this story you will stand on. You can remain the spectator, moving from one distraction to the next, avoiding the quiet moments where real life begins. You can grow weaker without feeling it, and one day look back with a gentle, numbed regret. Or you can rebel, not in grand gestures, but in the smallest, most dangerous way, by reclaiming your attention, your discomfort, and your desire for something more than a comfortable life. It will feel strange at first. You will feel the pull of the screen, the weight of the world's noise pressing in. You will be tempted to go back. But each time you resist, each time you choose to live your own story instead of watching someone else's, you are adding to a strength that no algorithm can touch. The final truth. At its core, the battle against entertainment's weakening grip is not about content, it's about consciousness. When you consume unconsciously, you hand over your most precious resource, your time. But when you live consciously, every moment becomes a deliberate act, an investment in the kind of human you are becoming. The truth is simple, but not easy. You are either training for strength or training for weakness. Every choice moves you toward one or the other. Entertainment can be a celebration, a shared ritual, a piece of art that sharpens your soul, but left unchecked, it becomes the quiet architect of your own erosion, And if you want to live a life that is truly yours, you must treat your attention like the scarce treasure it is, because once it's gone, there's no getting it back. So the next time you feel the reflex to escape into the endless feed, stop. Ask yourself, is this making me stronger or weaker? Am I living my own story or watching someone else's? If this were the last day of my life, would I still choose this? If the answer shakes you, good. That's where strength begins, in the moment you stop numbing yourself and start demanding more from your existence. Because in the end, the only tragedy greater than living a hard life is living an easy one that wasn't truly yours. And the only thing more dangerous than dying is never having lived at all.